Hi folks, Patrick Turner here with you today from Feldman Chevrolet of Highland. Today we have a brand new 2021 Chevrolet Tahoe. This is the first time I've gotten to drive one. I'm very excited about it. I own a 2019 Tahoe. It's kind of our family hauler. This one's supposed to have all kinds of new features, more room, independent rear suspension. So we're gonna hop in it, take it for a drive, and kind of go through some of those differences with you versus the old Tahoe. So let's hop in it and take it for a cruise. All right, well here we are cruising around in this new 2021 Tahoe. I gotta tell you, right from the get-go, it's gonna be pretty hard for me to not try to trade mine in real quick and pick up one of these things. So the big deal on this that I've been hearing from our GM reps and everything is the independent rear suspension in the back. The biggest reason why that's a huge deal is the legroom, cargo space that it opens up for the occupants in the rear. The Tahoe, the previous generation Tahoe, the legroom between the second and the third row isn't great. I mean, unless you're a child, it just isn't that comfortable back there. This one's got a ton more legroom, and we'll go over some specs here in a minute, but I can tell right off the bat that the independent suspension is giving a huge benefit to the ride quality of it. Not that the old Tahoe rode bad, but solid axle rear end, it can only ride so good. These roads that we have around here in Michigan, I mean, they're terrible. They're uneven, they're pothole ridden, they're just terrible. And this is just cruising over them like nothing. Now, this is a Premier, so it does have the magnetic ride control and all that good stuff, but I can't imagine that the Tahoes equipped with the non-mag ride are gonna ride bad either. Now, this vehicle is totally new. Front to back, bottom to top, doesn't share a nut or a bolt with the old vehicle aside from the motor. Even the transmission's updated. So out with the old 6-speed, in with the new 10-speed. This 10-speed, it shifts like butter. One of my gripes about the Tahoe that I have, my 2019, is the 6-speed's kind of lazy sometimes. It doesn't like to shift fast. This one shifts, almost feels like a Camaro. Now some of the specs that we got here, wheelbase, 6.7 inches longer in the Tahoe. Cubic feet, we got 18.2 more feet of cubic feet room. Cargo room is 28.2 more cubic feet of cargo room. That's huge. It's absolutely huge. Second row, 3 inches more legroom. That doesn't seem like a ton, but in the real world, it makes a difference. But the biggest deal was the third row. 10.1 more inches in the third row. So to most occupants, it's gonna feel kind of like riding in the old Suburban. But you don't have that huge wheelbase of the Suburban. It's hard to fit in the garage and harder to park. This is gonna fit in your garage. It's gonna be a lot easier to park. So here we are in some twists and turns. And right off the bat, I can tell that the independent suspension is definitely cutting down on the body roll. Way less body roll than the old generation. Steering's pretty tight too. Tighter than the 2019. Now again, this is a Premier, so this is pretty loaded up. It's got all but maybe a couple options, DVD players and automatic retracting running boards, but heads-up display. I always love the heads-up display. Got all the driver aids, parking aids, adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist. This right here, this is one of the harder adjustments for me to make. As soon as I hopped in there, I go to look for the column, like all the old Tahoes had, not there. But I will tell you, this is actually pretty cool to have up here. When I was maneuvering the thing around the lot, to do a couple 3-point turns and whatnot, it's really easy to switch from reverse to drive with this. I actually rather like it, and it cleans up this area too. Still have the big center console in it, like we always had in the last one, but they moved, and I love this, they moved the wireless phone charger from here to down here. Every time I put my phone up here and I go to get into the center console, it ends up in the back seat. Flips over there, ends up in the back seat, I can't find it. So I love that they put the wireless phone charger up here. Somebody had their brain on when they were thinking of that for sure. This one also has this pretty slick rear view mirror here, turns into a camera. Flip the dimmer switch. So these are family vehicles, so most people are going to have a bunch of occupants in it. You can't see past their heads in the rear view mirror, so you can turn on your camera here. You can actually adjust this a couple ways too. You can adjust the contrast, the zoom. You can zoom in, zoom out. Pretty sweet. Now, it's also got a sprayer on it. See that? I love that. And it's on the backup camera too. You go down a lot of dirt roads, it just gets clogged up with dirt and mud and whatever. You can't ever see it, so it's pretty much useless. But that sprayer on that is a really, really nice addition. Now, of course, this being a Premier model, you have the heated and ventilated seats, heated steering wheel, power lift gate, all that good stuff. Now, most of the stuff in this truck can be had in the LT trim level. You don't have to go all the way up to a $75,000, $80,000 Premier. You can have a lot of this stuff in the LT. I sold a Z71 model, the first one we got in the other day, to a customer. They had most of the stuff in it. And the price point was considerably less, about $14,000 less. So there is a Tahoe for every budget. You know, they're still going to start off right around that $53,000, $54,000 mark, and then go all the way up to, you know, as big of a check as you want to write. The seats are very nice. That's one thing I love about my Tahoe, is the seats are just, I mean, you can ride in it all day, no aches or pains. And these are right up there with them, no complaints there. You got a 120 volt outlet in the rear for the people back there, so they can plug in all their devices. There's USBs all over the place. Now these rear seats, really cool. You can actually fold them down from the front of the vehicle, which is pretty sweet. You don't have to be all the way back there. So if you got, you know, somebody going in there loading up a bunch of stuff, you can just hit the fold down seat button right here. They also put in there, like the Silverados, they put the auto start stop. You can actually disengage that, which is really nice. I know a lot of people aren't huge fans of that, myself included. The new touchscreen is awesome. It's huge, I love it. You can see everything plain as day. Got all the trailering cameras. You can actually engage the rear view camera for up to 8 seconds now. See a couple different views. Kind of distracting though. I advise you probably keep that off. Go to split screen here, just like all the other MyLink systems. So if you have a current Tahoe, you're not going to really have a big learning curve learning all the new technology. And a lot of the buttons are in generally the same spot they were before. All the climate control, everything up here for the sunroof, the garage door remote. I like the padding on the center console. I think is quite a bit better than the old generation too. Now, the one thing that I was kind of disappointed about in the new generation of the Tahoe was the little screen deal here that rises up. I like that. And because unless you have one or you have a car that has that, you don't know that little secret compartment's there. It used to have a little button right here, it'd raise up, and then it was all open back there. You could fit whatever you wanted in there. That's gone, but hey, whatever, you know, that's how it goes. But you got a little more storage right here too. Kind of make up for that, I suppose. But again, the two biggest things about the Tahoe: independent rear suspension. Rides great. Phenomenal. This is a really choppy road. There's seams, it's uneven from all the gravel trucks going down here. And in my Tahoe, you can feel that contrast on both sides of the road. It kind of makes the vehicle shimmy a little bit and kind of stutter over some of these seams right here in the rear. And this one doesn't do it, not even a little bit. And then again, the legroom in the back, 10.1 more inches of legroom in the third row. That's crazy. That's insane. Most vehicles don't even have 10 inches of legroom in the third row or second row for that matter. And then to add another 10 inches on top of that, it's huge. I sat back there before we did this video, and you know the second row they slide, so you can slide that forward because the second row has so much legroom. You can slide that second row forward and all the way forward. It doesn't matter if you're 6.5 feet tall, you're still going to have plenty of room back there. And then your occupants in the third row are going to be really, really comfortable. Now this thing with the additional 28.2 feet of cargo room, it has like 120, almost 123 total cubic feet of cargo room. That's insanely huge. The old Tahoes with the third row down, you can fit a lot of stuff in there, so I can't even imagine how much stuff you can fit in this thing compared to the old one. I like the cup holders back here too. Those are pretty nice. My kids are always looking for a spot to put their bottle of water or whatever, and it usually ends up in the side door card. Open the door, it falls out, so those are really nice. Well, that's about as far in depth as I'm going to get with this today. Maybe we'll do a follow-up video here in about a week or so, and touch on a couple of those points again. So, thanks for taking a ride with us. Again, this is Patrick from Feldman Chevrolet in Highland on the corner of M59 and Hickory Ridge, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, Michigan's #1 truck dealer, 2019 Dealer of the Year, JD Power and Associates certified dealer. Come and visit us, pick yourself up a new 2021 Tahoe. Thanks for watching, like, comment, and share it for us.